Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years now. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they'll show you options that fit your budget. So whether you're picking out your first policy or just looking for something that works better for you and your family, they make it easy to see your options. Visit Progressive.com. Find a rate that works for you with the Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Spring is calling, weddings, patio sessions, barbecues, and you want that drink vibe without sacrificing tomorrow. That's RK Zero Proof. As the world's first Zero Proof spirits brand, RK created the warm molecule, giving you the smooth kick of whiskey or tequila with zero alcohol, 0 calories, 0 sugar, and all the peace of mind you need to enjoy every moment. Step into the Zero Proof season at rkzeroproof.com.
Quality proteins aren't just for special occasions. With Omaha Steaks, you get mouth-watering proteins delivered right to your door. Individually packaged and portioned, so a great dinner is just minutes away. From Taco Tuesday to a weekend feast, taste the Omaha Steaks difference. Start getting flavorful proteins delivered today. Visit omahasteaks.com and get $35 off with promo code AUDIO at checkout. That's omahasteaks.com, code AUDIO. Terms apply. See site for details.
Well, we start, Brian, with the team that actually won the division and won a Super Bowl 2 years ago with the Giants' best player, the Philadelphia Eagles, who, after they traded for Dontavian Wicks, the Green Bay Packers wide receiver, now have 8 picks remaining. They did shift a pick to the Packers for the services of Dontavian Wicks. They have the number 23 selection in the first round. A lot of noise around, well, there's always a lot of noise around Philadelphia, not least made by Philadelphia Eagles fans, but a lot of noise in the offseason, even for their liking, and a lot of it not particularly positive in how Jalen Hurts is perceived within that organization. A lengthy ESPN hit piece, basically saying Jalen Hurts too big for his boots. Jalen Hurts not calling the plays that he's been sent out on the field, not getting it right on the field. That's why there was such a lack of chemistry with the offense in general. And AJ Brown in particular, who may end up out the door now to satisfy Jalen Hurts, and it seems like there are people within the Philadelphia Eagles organization who aren't particularly happy about that. So it's an interesting backdrop for their draft.
It's a very interesting offseason story, Conor. I actually don't know whether it's getting the attention it deserves, because there's other aspects of NFL news that's gone off over the past week or two, with other alternatives going on, with AJ Brown potentially new home with the Patriots. That's another one that's been suggested. He's going to get traded there. But it is interesting dynamic, because they go and trade for Wicks last Friday night, and I think they're giving away a 6 and a 7 or something thereabouts. And I know Ciaran, our Packers resident, said it was inevitable they were going to move one of the wide receivers. The Eagles make me nervous, Conor, because this for me looks like a really upward type of deal for them. I mean, they're giving away very little in return, and yet the upside for me with this player is really good. The Packers, we've seen over the last couple of years, they're interchanging with wide receivers, and Wicks will have a big game, and then one of their Dobbs will have a big game. But Wicks in his own right, for me, is still a player that can do damage. And I just don't understand where.
So they got rid of all of them. That's how good they are.
Yeah, no, but it's interesting. They just enough. You'd probably delight with that, but they refresh and they continuously refresh in Green Bay. But this is not a Green Bay podcast. It was steer clear of that. I like the move for them. I like the move, but I actually had, and I was doing notes for this one last week, and I was looking at wide receivers being interesting position if they were to go that now at 23. Are they really going to pick up the wide receiver which they want? But this deal could have made it a bit unusual, because AJ Brown trade continues to swirl. The quarterback situation is an interesting one, but Howie Roseman always makes me nervous, because he finds a way to put up these stellar players that how many times we've seen him, particularly the year in which they won the Super Bowl, how they end up picking up a player for large parts of the speculation period where it was a top 15 candidate. They end up picking somebody getting really late in the draft. If it's going to strike me, they'll find the goal again, but will it be enough? Will it be a wide receiver? I'm not entirely sure.
Craig, I've been banging this drum, and we were just recording there, or actually on our live stream a little bit earlier this evening. It's Monday evening at time that we're recording, that if everybody's looking at the 2026 draft class as being a bit meh, particularly in the quarterback stakes, and the 2027 is where you want to have your selections, the Eagles and Howie Roseman are famously prone to trading, particularly in the first round. Why wouldn't they trade down or even out of the first round if they don't feel but there's value there for those first round picks. And if other teams feel that there is, and accumulate more capital.
Yeah, absolutely. And all you have to look at is a draft slider, and it's prime real estate really for somebody to move up and take a player that maybe some of the other franchises are just not that hot on. And a lot of the time it doesn't take a lot. I mean, unfortunately, they are in that pick 23 position. That means getting a 2027 first is probably unlikely, but whatever they get can be used as fodder to climb up that draft board if they need to. So it's not out of the realms of possibility. I do look at that number 23 pick and do wonder who will be available. They probably do have the benefit of being able to go best player available if they have to. I do think that they definitely, with one of their day one or day two picks, they need to look at offensive tackle. Lane Johnson is not getting any younger, and it's prime time to just get that ready-made replacement in, especially if, Father Time catches up and he ends up missing a little bit of time due to injury. Caden Proctor could be available, but he's a left tackle, purely played left tackle. So Blake Miller from Clemson, I think he could be a decent right tackle that they might look at. And then wide receiver, they've got Hollywood Brown. I think a lot of people forget that they picked up Hollywood Brown, but this isn't the Hollywood Brown that we're talking about that was with the Ravens all that time ago. Like, he's not really produced over the last few years.
He's more Hollywood County Down than Hollywood, California at this stage. Although let's not disrespect Rory McIlroy's hometown, as he's just accumulated his second green jacket in 2 years.
No, absolutely. So, yeah, I think they need to pick up a versatile wide receiver, someone like an Omar Cooper Jr., if he's probably available at the end there. But yeah, it is prime example for someone who could trade down. One thing that I will say is I think that if there's a potential to maybe move up for a draft faller, they could look to move up for a tight end quite easily. I mean, that kind of ticks two boxes there. Dallas Goedert's not getting any younger, and they still need a weapon on the offense. So that might be a sneaky little look for them as well.
Ciaran, I've heard Caden Proctor's name mentioned in connection with a couple of teams now. His stock seems to be rising and he's on the bubble. And if you know one thing about the Philadelphia Eagles general manager, Howie Roseman, he likes a big beefy lineman from an SEC school. That kind of pick has Howie Roseman written all over it.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm taking Craig's point about Lane Johnson, getting a little longer in the tooth. The more you look at that O-line for the Eagles, though, it's so solid, and those guys are in the 26, 27-year-old range. Those guys might have another 8 to 10 years. I'm not saying they will, but between Dickerson, Mailata, Cam Jurgens, they're on the good side of 30 right now. So maybe an upgrade with the Lane Johnson position. They have needs all over the field, especially on the offense side. People forget how bad this offense was. They averaged just over 19 points the second half of the season last year. I think 10 of their 18 games, they didn't go above 19 points. We all saw the issues with Patullo. Saquon wasn't the same. We all know the Hurts, what's going on with Hurts and is Brown going to go? I'm tending towards, if we remember a couple of years ago when they got smoked by the Buccaneers, what did Roseman do? He went out and got some of the best defensive players in the draft. Carter was picked up, and you had Quinion Mitchell and DeJean, and it just transformed that back four overnight. Is he going to do a similar trick with the offense and flip it a little bit? And I'm not saying Hurts is going to go because, like we've already talked about, they'll be waiting until 27 when the kind of gilt-edged quarterbacks start coming out.
So they've brought Andy Dalton into the building, right? So if you had any sense that the Eagles might have their eye on a quarterback prospect, pick somebody up and let them develop a year before then getting rid of Hurts, that's clearly not happening this year. They seem to have the same view of the 2026 quarterback draft class as you do.
Right, and we're going to have a much clearer view of what the Hurts scenario is about 6-7 months time in Philadelphia, because all signs are trending downwards. If we're in reality, they got a new offensive coordinator now with Sean Mannion. How is he going to gel with Hurts? Is Hurts going to just stick to his same, script and say,
I'm going to say not well.
Well, it's one thing we love about the NFL and especially with the Eagles is turmoil is a beautiful thing in the city of brotherly love because it's endless content. So, new coordinator coming in. Patullo got lost in the sauce in Philadelphia. Poor guy got ran out of town. Mannion comes in, maybe a slightly better resume. with the work he did with Seattle. But still, I mean, you pretty much the same weapons there. I just think that they're going to go for somebody like a Brazil, big, tall, like 6'4" wide receiver, Boston. I just think Roseman's going to look at that, how well he did. I mean, Roseman probably gets into the office every day and puts his feet up and says, man, I just kill every draft. But he's just probably going to look in and see how well he did it with the defensive unit in 24. And be like, you know what? I'm going to weave the magic. I'm going to pull in a couple of tight ends. At 23, there's still a lot of great players there. And who's to say? I mean, with I think it's 9 total picks, eight or 9 picks they have the capital to move around. Maybe they go up and toss a couple of second and third rounders as well as the 23rd pick and move further on up and get some of those, higher end, quote unquote, higher end offensive players. So a lot to look at in Philadelphia, but they've got to address the offense and how putrid it was, scoring 19 points or fewer 9 times, including the playoffs. Jalen Hurts only exceeded 200 passing yards in 10 of the 17 games. So there's a huge issue there. And like I said, we'll know more in about 6-7 months where the lay of the land is in Philadelphia. But it's going to get ugly. And if it gets better, we'll have to wait and see. But I think they're going to go heavy on offense just in the first couple of rounds and then patch up those, needs that everyone else has, edge, corner, linebacker. So fun times in Philadelphia. I'm looking forward to see what they do.
Spring is calling, weddings, patio sessions, barbecues, and you want that drink vibe without sacrificing tomorrow. That's RK Zero Proof. As the world's first zero proof spirits brand, RK created the warm molecule, giving you the smooth kick of whiskey or tequila with 0 alcohol, 0 calories, 0 sugar, and all the peace of mind you need to enjoy every moment. Step into the zero proof season at rkzeroproof.com.
Quality proteins aren't just for special occasions. With Omaha Steaks, you get unbeatable flavor and value delivered right to your door. They have an unmatched selection of perfectly portioned proteins, including USDA-certified tender steaks, burgers, chicken, pork, seafood, and more. All flash frozen at their moment of peak quality. Then quickly delivered to your door in a dependable cooler. So a great dinner is just minutes away. From Taco Tuesday to a weekend feast. Omaha Steaks practically invented meat delivery, and they've been perfecting the art of premium proteins for over 100 years. With their 100% satisfaction guarantee, you can order with complete confidence. Taste the Omaha Steaks difference, a better, more convenient way to buy proteins. Start getting flavorful proteins delivered today. Visit omahasteaks.com and get $35 off with promo code AUDIO at checkout. That's omahasteaks.com, code AUDIO. Terms apply. See site for details.
Weight Watchers now offers access to affordable GLP-1s. It works for members like...
I'm Haley, and I've lost 100 pounds. Weight Watchers has everything I need, from weight loss medications to nutrition support and help with my side effects. It's all in one place.
Weight Watchers handles the insurance for you and offers affordable cash pay options. With our program, our members are losing more weight with expert nutrition and side effect support.
I'm Mike, and I've lost 135 pounds. Weight Watchers prescribing GLP-1 medications. It's been life-changing.
I'm Sharia, and I lost 80 pounds on Weight Watchers. I realized that it would take more than a prescription to lose weight and feel good on a GLP-1.
Better results, expert support, lose more weight, make it last.
I can't imagine doing a GLP-1 without Weight Watchers.
Get started for as low as $25 at weightwatchers.com/new.
Medications require eligibility and prescription. Patients on 15 milligrams of trizepatide had an average of 21% weight loss in a 72-week clinical trial when paired with diet and exercise. First month as low as $25 with a 12-month MedPlus plan. Does not include the cost of GLP-1 medications.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.